and that is to slam the brakes on rising prices with higher interest rates. And that has an immediate impact on mortgages, on rents. It puts up the cost of borrowing for business. It's bad for investment and growth. It's bad for jobs. It's bad for everyone. And of course, the increase in interest rates considerably increases the cost of borrowing for government. We're already spending £83 billion this year alone in servicing our debts, and every extra percentage point in interest payments is another £21 billion that has to go on paying lenders for our borrowing. And that's money that will have to be paid back by our children and grandchildren. It's money that could go on schools and hospitals. It costs money, prodigious sums. And the result is that the overall burden of taxation is now very high. And you can't spend your way out of inflation, and you can't tax your way into growth. It's time for the government to stop spending and to start cutting taxes and cutting regulation. This has been an era of phenomenal corporate welfare. From PPE contracts that were driven by the desperation of the pandemic to billions of pounds invested, driven by the same desperation in vaccines and antivirals, to the whole array of businesses that were quite rightly supported by the furlough, bounce back loans, CBILS, all those other programmes. We're on the side, for instance, of British farmers. We need to grow more and eat more of our own food in this country. And I think it's sensible to protect British agriculture from cut price or substandard food from overseas. One of the ways, of course, to reduce energy costs is to increase energy supply. And that's why the British Energy Security Strategy is going for a step change in the quantity of wind power. We generate 50 gigawatts by 2030, returning the UK to the status of the #1 wind power producer offshore wind power producer in the world. Today, I want to talk about the single biggest chunk of household expenditure, and that is the cost of housing itself. Just this year alone, the price of a home in the UK has soared by an average of 9.8% to £278,000, which is £24,000 higher than this time last year. And in 2021, prices rose faster than wages. So that if you're one of the millions and millions of people outside the housing market and you're looking in, for every week and month that goes by, the dream of home ownership recedes further into the distance. And since 1970, France has built 16.7 million homes, whereas we have built just 8.9 million. And in that period, our population has grown by more than 12 million people. For example, by making it easier to turn disused agricultural buildings into homes for local first-time buyers and to support farmers in growing and diversifying their businesses. We have a ludicrous situation where plenty of younger people could afford to make monthly payments that are earning enough to cover astronomical rent bills, but the ever-spiralling price of a house or a flat has so inflated deposit requirements that saving even just 10% is a wholly unrealistic proposition for them. So, we want to make it easier to get a mortgage, making sure that the self-employed also get the mortgages they need. This government has made sure that there is a healthy supply of 95% mortgages. Tens of thousands of first-time buyers have since bought their home thanks to our mortgage guarantee scheme. I want us to deliver on the long-standing commitment made by several governments to extend the right to buy to housing associations. The total bill for housing support stands at about £30 billion a year, and the Office for Budget Responsibility has warned that if we don't take action, it could reach £50 billion by 2050. That is cash, taxpayers' cash, that is being simply swallowed to pay the mortgages of private sector landlords or being swallowed by housing associations. It's time to put this huge wall of money, taxpayers' money, to better use. It's time to turn benefits to bricks. So we're going to look to change the rules on welfare so that the 1.5 million working people who are in receipt of housing benefits and want, I stress working people, and who want to buy their first home will be given a new choice to spend their benefit on rent as now or put it towards a first ever mortgage. And last of all, we're going to look at how we can securitise some of that colossal £30 billion housing benefits bill, so that we can build more social homes with the potential of a right to buy. And that is how it's that plan for a stronger economy that will mean that we will be able to get on with the mission on which this government was elected, to unite and level up across our country. So that no matter where you are born or what your background, we will give you the chance to fulfil your potential. No government in the world can afford to use taxpayers' money to shield everyone completely from the increased costs caused by powerful global forces.